How's it going, you guys? In this video, I want to talk about one of my favorite herbs of all time. So this herb, I made a multitude of videos about. You can simply just search my channel name and then the word Ashwaganda. I'll try to spell it right in the title. I've misspelled it many times before. Ashwaganda is an herb that's definitely changed my life. It's played an amazing role in creating significant transformation. Drinking some delicious yerba mate right now. Another one of my favorite herbs of all time that has made a huge transformation in my life. So, ashwagandha. In particular, this year I've been taking this ashwagandha powder. It's the whole herb ashwagandha powder by Terrasol. It is not a standardized extract. It's just a concentrated root powder. It's not a 4-to-1, 2-to-1 concentrate. It's just a dried powder. And I've been taking this lately in the dosage of 1 teaspoon before bed. And it helps me sleep amazingly through the night. It's probably one of the most powerful sleep supplements I've ever taken. It is a very powerful anti-anxiety herb. There are many other benefits of ashwagandha. Many benefits that are scientifically verified. There are mechanisms that have been identified. It's a very well-researched herb, and it's one that is very hard to ignore. And I think the reason why it's so well studied is because it's so powerful. And there's actually studies that show it increases testosterone in either infertile men or men who are going through very stressful strength training. It's very powerful for lowering cortisol and for reducing stress and stress hormones and adrenal hormones in general. It's one herb that's been talked about being used for what they call adrenal fatigue, although the main reason why it's used for those symptoms is because when people say they have adrenal fatigue, typically they're suffering from overstress, they're suffering from undernourishment, and it's a syndrome caused by stress, essentially. Ashwagandha has been shown to offset a lot of the physiological markers of things like overtraining for elite athletes, people like myself, who've been training hard and vigorously for long years, for many years. We develop, we build up too much fatigue and stress over time from our hard training routines that we develop chronic stress and under recovery, and ashwagandha is something that can definitely help with the symptoms of that and help the actual physiological markers that create that condition in the first place. And for people who work very hard every single day at their jobs, I know people who have gone through like vigorous college courses who take ashwagandha to overcome the stress and overwhelming feelings and effort that comes alongside working hard in college. So, there's a variety of things. Also, thyroid disorders. Ashwagandha is well known for regulating the thyroid, in particular people with lower thyroid. Although a lot of times that's a nutrition issue. People lack adequate iodine, selenium, and other minerals. And a lot of times they lack caloric intake, and chronic starvation can actually downregulate the metabolism over time. Anyway, so in the past I've made videos about Himalaya ashwagandha. Now this is actually a simpler version. This is actually an ashwagandha root. This is ashwagandha extract. They have a much more potent extract that you can find on Amazon. It includes 2 different types of extracts and the whole root powder in one supplement, and it's a caplet form. And I was using that for a long time, and it worked amazing. And it was also an organic ashwagandha supplement. This one I got from my local Indian market, and this was only $4. Do you see that? This was only $4. And This one it still works amazingly, although it's a smaller dose. Smaller doses of ashwagandha are better to be used during the day for energy and anti-anxiety effects, especially social anxiety. Whereas if you use a high dose, especially of a whole root extract, the higher the dose, the more of a relaxation effect it's going to have. The smaller the dose, the more of a boosting effect it'll have, like a energizing effect. Now this is a cheaper brand that I got from my Indian market, and I haven't really used this vigorously. It says it's been tested for heavy metals, but I'm actually kind of scared of taking it for that reason because I don't really know. But the thing is, something to talk about on ashwagandha and heavy metals, because there's a lot of fear going around about ashwagandha being, what would you say, tampered or being having too much lead and heavy metals in it. The thing is, ashwagandha, there's actually studies that you can find that talk about how ashwagandha can help the body excrete excessive heavy metals. There was a study that showed it could do that for candium, and there's another heavy metal it mentioned specifically that it helps to excrete excessive heavy metals and prevent them from bioaccumulating. And so, and that was a study done on rats, I believe. But that's even more important because a lot of the bioaccumulation of toxins comes from the food that we eat, or so they say. Things like mercury in fish. And so if it can prevent that in rats, it could probably prevent it in humans as well. Anyway, the point here is that even if it was, did have high levels of heavy metals in it, the effects of ashwagandha themselves could potentially offset that. Anyway, the point here is that I've been taking ashwagandha for a very long time, and I've experienced amazing benefits. For me in particular, the sleep benefits I get are amazing. The motivation and energy I get when I wake up is amazing. I've used it in times where it makes me feel more relaxed or makes me want to go to sleep. If you use it with the proper dose at the right time, it can promote energy, motivation, inspiration, productivity. I've gone on it, I've gone off of it. At this moment, I've been taking it almost without breaks for about 4 months now. It's been a while. I took it for 3 months without a break this year and have noticed the most amazing effects on sleep, motivation, energy. I've taken it in 2018, this exact brand and everything, for 2 months straight and noticed it just it made me sleepy, help me sleep, help me relax and stuff. And I found if you don't take it properly, it might cause laziness, might cause lethargy, it might make you indifferent, but it's all about how do you take it and then how do you use the benefits that it gives you and what type of extract. The whole root powder, if you take it in a large dose to help you sleep, then when you wake up, typically you should have more focus, more energy, more motivation, more relaxation and stuff of that nature. And you should have an amazing sleep that you can't get any other way. But if you take too much of it during the daytime, it can cause laziness, tiredness, etc. And so I've experimented on and off, and I've actually noticed, regardless of caffeine intake, ashwagandha seems to just make me more likely to get productive. Like today, I had such an amazing sleep. I went to bed on time because I have a weird sleep schedule because of my work. I got to bed by 11 because if I take ashwagandha, after a teaspoon, within 30 minutes to an hour, I just want to go to bed. Even if I'm scrolling through my phone, reading a book or something, reading articles on the internet, my body's just okay, it's time to go to bed. And I just roll over, fall asleep, and I wake up. I might wake up 5 hours later but to go pee and then go right back to bed. It's really a miracle for sleep. But I have noticed I feel way more mentally stable with it than without it. Like this year I went through a rough breakup where even though it was, it's a long story. It was something I kind of created, but long story, but the point is, like, I basically broke my own heart. Let's put it that way. I broke my own heart. Was just like devastated by, the way that it played out. Even though we were still friends and stuff, I just was so sad. Just because she's just an amazing girl, despite our compatibility or lack of compatibility. She was just a really great person. I was just sad that, like, I wish I could have whatever. Wish I could have treated her better. Point is, I was sad and I'd be in jiu-jitsu crying. And, like, I thought maybe serotonin and boosting herbs made that worse, and I think rhodiola did. But ashwagandha, at first I was like, oh, it's the ashwagandha that's making me cry, because I've had an experience before where I took ashwagandha and it felt like I was more nostalgic, looking at memories, wanting to cry, being sympathetic. And I've noticed a lot of herbs that seem to enhance serotonin signaling and the expression of serotonin. Typically, those make me feel that way. But I think that was just a normal part of the breakup. And I think ashwagandha, if anything, helped me to kind of move through that. Especially because, like, it allowed me to sleep. And a lot of times during breakups, your mind is just like, oh, all the things that happened, playing through the history that you had with that person and whatnot, and the memories. It's hard to go to sleep in that case. But with ashwagandha, I was able to go to sleep, wake up, do the things I need to do. And it's really a fantastic, amazing herb. So, yeah. So I think ashwagandha is amazing, and I think it definitely increases your endurance, it increases your stamina, it increases your recovery between workouts. I've noticed it seems to increase my desire for healthy sexual relationships rather than, the instant gratification of internet arousal, if you know what I mean. And I think I've noticed an increase in my strength in the gym, and there's actually studies that show an increase in power output on strength from trained individuals, untrained individuals, and sedentary individuals. And it also increases there's studies that show it can increase your sprint time, and studies that show that it can increase your endurance during long, steady state, aerobic, marathon type activities. So there's a lot of benefits for testosterone, a lot of benefits for sexual health, sexual function, energizing effects, cognitive benefits, neuroprotective benefits, sleep, you name it. Ashwagandha is basically a super herb, and it encompasses all aspects of health. It's fantastic, and I think the thing is you just have to find what dose, and the proper dose and the proper form, because tinctures are going to change their benefits. Whether it's an alcoholic extract or not will change the benefits, because there's alcoholic tinctures and there's glycerin based ones. The type of extract, there's KSM 66, and then there's Sensorol. I've had the most benefit with the Himalaya. I think it's a critical CO2 extract, I'm not sure. And the whole herb powder. I have noticed it seems to work best if you mix it with some fat, like some butter or some ghee. But I've taken it almost every night just on an empty fucking stomach and still experience amazing benefits. Pardon my language, because some people get triggered when I use the F word, even though it's not in a derogatory context. Your emotions are not my responsibility, and ashwagandha will help you feel the same way. It'll help you detach yourself from meaningless nonsense like, oh, he used the F word in his video. Anyway, with that being said, I'm out. So let me know deep down in the comments, what are some of your experiences with ashwagandha? Because I've had an amazing time so far. Recently, I tried removing ashwagandha, and I tried using glycine and GABA for sleep, and my whole life just started to disintegrate. And I was like, whoa, let's take ashwagandha again. Leave your questions, comments down below. Talk to y'all next time.